prioritize the power of the counter pick, most notably for Keen. T1 must have a plan set in stone here, and based on that last game, I'm wondering, are we gonna see something like the Zeri, the Melio be left top and just immediately slam a counter pick here? Because otherwise, I don't know why you're going towards the red side with how many must bans it feels like there are when you're playing on that end.
And also, Harmalife Esports and KT really had some issues when it came to working out what the Melio Yuumi priority is. And so T1 may have seen that and said that we can manipulate the bans in order to make sure that they can once again fall into that trap. And we'll see whether that is what the thought is going to be. K'Sante already banned away, of course. Feels like a ban against Faker these days, because he has been so good at it in the mid lane. Still, we're not going to see where it's going to go regardless, as Nico taken off the board as well.
I'm fine with it just being a ban of K'Sante. Like, that you don't even need anyone who's
maybe it's a
after
Dudu. Yeah, it's a Keria ban, I think.
Keep it away at this point. That wouldn't even surprise me. The Yuumi, though, going to be also taken away here from Homa. Don't want to prioritize it. Also don't want to give it over, and that does remain something that the LCK prioritizes extremely highly. A lot of other regions, I think, more so on the Zeri, Yuumi end of the spectrum, still really regarding it highly. And he also taken away. Ooh. And Vi still available. Maokai still there as well.
And I don't think that Harmalife Esports really care too much about Maokai being open, but they really want Vi. That was actually how they managed to win their game against KT, was largely about what Clid was able to get done there. Zeri, of course, needing to be banned away. So Harmalife Esports, I'd be very surprised if this wasn't just an insta-lock on the Vi.
Seems that way. The one thing that does make it through now is Lucian Nami.
Oh.
For Guma and Keria.
Would you say that Gumayusi Keria is one of the bottom lanes that plays Lucian Nami quite well?
In fact, I would, Atlas.
Would you hazard a guess that they're that good? That's interesting, okay. Bold statement. See how it holds up. As, never mind, they're not even going to play it. So we might just have Lucian Nami being picked up here by Harmalife Esports. I feel like that could have been a potential misplay. But T1 also just may not be interested in it. They may not think it's that strong right now. We know that we have seen it be utilized to great success, especially with the new Nami build, being able to build Mandate and then that silly item that gives you a bunch of damage and healing and all that sort of cool stuff. Looks like Lucian not going to be picked up here by Viper.
And probably just Aphelios Lulu, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I like this better.
Otherwise,
give them the 1-2 punch from mid-jungle.
Is a very strong combination. Soon is used to great efficiency. Also, now T1 can either lock in a Lissandra, which we do know has a great matchup with the Ahri, or if the Jace ends up being mid, wonder whether they want to give away what is going to be played or if they want to try and lock it in. The problem, of course, is that a lot of the duos that are available and are still strong, like Lucian Nami, not really going to be available, and it's just going to be the Jax straight up continuing to see the priority on this pick being extremely high here in the LCK.
Well, now we need Jarvan to be locked in, and then it's only J champions that could potentially be played on the top side of the map. I'll be here all week.
How do you feel about that one?
Oh, great. That's all right. Lucian going to be banned away. I imagine that something else of the AD carry Persuasion will follow suit. Nautilus is a curious one. I would have expected the Lulu to be taken off the board, but it might be that T1 will priority pick their support.
Yeah, you got to ban Rakan here, right? Or do you ban Xayah? Actually, I would love a Xayah ban here. Looking at you already having Vi and Ahri.
Tahm Kench.
Kench, okay. So you can just lock in Rakan here and then go Xayah Rakan, which we know T1 loves to play. Something that they're very strong at, good into the amount of dive that's already available. Xayah not necessarily the most exciting into Aphelios. We've seen that matchup go either way, but yeah, I think this makes a ton of sense here for T1.
Yep. Almost too comfortable there. So, Harmalife Esports, what are we locking away? Probably just a Lulu, and then Kingen can play whatever he would like into a Jax. Not a lot of great options, to be perfectly honest, but we have seen just play tanks kind of work. Although you need to have a pretty clear game plan around the Jack's late game split push problem that we have seen really get away from some people. Is going to be the Scion that will be the option. And now Life needs to make a decision. They know that it's going to be Zyra Khan, almost guaranteed. Of course, you know, Gumayusi could experiment with something else, but likely just going to be Aphelios Lulu. So after all of the deliberation and the clock ticking down, we went to the most obvious pick on the bottom side of the map. So is it just Zyra?
Feels like it makes the most sense. T1 talking everything over. And the T1 composition, I really like the 1-3-1 possibilities that you have with Maokai and Rakan, and especially if you add Xayah as well, you have a core that's really hard to reliably engage on.
Okay, that's a Jhin.
I am a little surprised. We hadn't really talked yet. I know your opinions on this, but we hadn't really talked yet about the damage profile. Barring Oner going for a more AP-heavy build, which I don't think is in that great a spot at the moment. This is a full AD comp. And adding a Jhin to that really...
That doesn't...
A curveball thrown by T1. Like, the poke is really good, right? Between Jace and Jhin and Maokai, particularly if you go AP, but we're seeing some grins. I don't know. I feel like the Xayah was great in that situation.
Xayah kind of okay into, she shreds tanks relatively well. The thing that you generally say about Jhin is that if there is big tank in the way, that is a problem. Because getting through that can be a difficulty. So, yeah. If only there was a champion that pairs extraordinarily well with Rakan released at the same time that was able to shred through tanks.
So I'm very curious as to how this is going to work out. I think Jhin is going to have a pretty tough time playing this game. The one benefit is that on this patch, right, Stormrazor Rush on Jhin is extremely strong, is one of the champions that uses that extremely well. And T1 might just be looking to get early laning leads and then shove that into an immediate win. And let's not forget what happened to the Xayah a bunch of times the last time it was played for T1.
Damage profile doesn't matter if you win 20 minutes. Let's jump into game number 1. All right, both teams' fans are at full voice here in Lore Park today. I was actually quite surprised. Harmon Life Esports, on day 1, the fans were a little quiet, a little subdued. Today, losing their minds. You love to see it. Absolutely fantastic. T1, though, let's see how they're going to bounce back from MSI. A lot of learnings to come from this particular game. I'm personally, and this is the problem, Chronicler, with you know, me being on this desk for this game, is that I just don't like Jhin very much.
It is paired with Maokai though, which helps a little bit, right?
No,
that's
I feel like Jhin doesn't do enough stuff.
Doesn't do enough things. Well, if you're
like, if there's anyone that can convince me that Jhin is a good champion, it's probably Gumayusi, right?
Well, you say that, but then I don't want to bring up some unresolved trauma for T1 fans, but I remember a certain finals in 2022.
The Yuumi was banned! The Yuumi was banned!
In Game 5 was not well received as, oh god, Clid in trouble here.
Yeah, Oner already coming on over. The Bramble Smash going to come down as the Wolves are going to turn over to the tree, but it doesn't look like Clid's going to be able to do too much about it, as bit of a face-off here. One brush each as we're sweeping. All right. Viper going to step out first. Gumayusi Keria. Will they go for the minions? The answer is yes. And the dancing grenade, sorry, going to be able to do that.
So Guma and Keria are going to try and strike the right balance here, because you don't want to shove at all, because if you shove in, you are a sitting duck for Clid, who you know is going to be on the bot side of the map. Clid might be looking for vertical jungle as Faker. This is really good, right? If he's able to, as I say, the end of the trade not really going his way, but if he's able to get an early lead and get Cryo, it means that Clid finding any counterplay to the early invade that Oner got is going to be a lot harder. And for the same reason, Guma and Keria want to try and still contest without shoving in. Not to be open, too open to ganks. We do see now Oner picked up the Wolves, then blue buff Raptors, and is now making his way towards his own bottom half of the jungle. And doesn't look like Clid is going to be able to find anything in return.
Ooh, Viper could be in a little bit of trouble, but he does just press Q with his Severum. Not going to find the Calibrum version of it. Should be all right. You can see a fair bit of control here on this bottom side, though, for Life Esports. Playing it out nicely is Viper and Life. Needing a few more buttons are Gumayusi Keria by the looks of things. As Clid going to try and return the favor here. Gets some vision down. The Sentinel getting mad at Oner for the moment. As Keria, he will rotate in. And Vault Breaker going to be used. That is not going to be the steal, but that is a lot of damage as Clid going real far forward. Life having to flash to make sure he stays alive. Deadly Flourish will connect as Zeus just doing some between the turrets things as the Jax, much like we saw in the previous game. And okay, that was not... It's not the contest I was expecting Clid to make. However, it wasn't as disastrous as it could have been, but Life not having flash is bad news.
Yeah, the big part there was Zeka actually being able to go forwards and be first to the roam, which meant that they had all the confidences. Now Clid, a dive here would be very valuable. Doesn't look like he is going to go for it though. Instead, just opting to get the Gromp. Also, crucially, didn't end up getting the steal on the buff, right? Oner was able to get it. And then, as you mentioned, the flash from Life also had to be invested into a Rakan in particular. It does feel very rough. So T1 bot lane taking a bit of a beating, and the only one that really gets the benefit from this is Zeus, who gets a free back due to knowing where Clid is at that given point in time.
Should be all right. As Keria finds the Gleaming Quill, try and keep some health bars healthy on Gumayusi. Viper and Life, though, is still doing a great job as far as shoving this wave in, and as we can see, as the waves meet, it's about 6 minions, just a little bit under a wave's worth of a lead for the Aphelios Lulu. King and having a good time as hunking slab of metal here towards the top lane. But Zeus is Jax, and if there is minion parity between these two, then it is good news for the Jax player, and with that big wave that is crashing forward, I think that he should be at exactly that. Mid lane, Zeka was actually being able to answer Faker quite well. We saw that early aggression coming out from Faker, but Zeka kind of standing his ground, being able to edge back on that trade, and like you say, managing to get some priority when you could see that Faker was definitely playing for it. He used most of his minion wave, most of his mana bar on the minion wave in order to get the shove.
And wasn't able to, but fortunately the T1 bot lane was still able to make their way over. And I actually do think that that might be one of the reasons why they wanted to go for the Jhin instead, right? Trying to maintain a little bit more priority. There's also, obviously, as mentioned, the combination of Maokai and Jhin that is quite strong, can really set up and land a lot of CC chains. There's the poke that Faker and Guma together are going to be able to output. Expectation is that this is just going to be, you know, the standard Stormrazor, crit Jhin showmaker as Oner might touch over the wall here.
He is. He's flashing in immediately. Grand entrance. They know the Life doesn't have his flash available. The heal comes down, but I just don't think he's zippy enough. Deadly Flourish will be avoided for the moment as Viper has red-white guns, but it means don't fight for Life Esports as the Lulu will go down. Clear target and executed perfectly here by T1.
Great job here. The entire river is warded, right? And there is also a ward in the Tribe Rush. So Life feels so safe because the early laning phase actually has been going really well for them. You are winning the early laning phase with a call. So you're feeling amazing there. Picked up an early plate as well. But Oner able to dodge out on the vision as that cancel. Cancel would have been really big. Not going to be the case. Viper, fortunately for him, is able to make his way back. But yeah, like, look at the amount of control that they have. And there is, of course, no flash due to Life going for the earlier play, so Oner knows if I flash over the wall here, Life is guaranteed that little bit of alcove gaming, notwithstanding Clid's making his way over, but no way he's ever getting there in time.
Yep. Captive Audience has never been named so well. As Life will make his way back, the flash almost back up and available. And thankfully, Viper didn't have to use his in that incident. And so therefore, they should be able to put pressure on as soon as Life has that one back available. So kill going over to Gumayusi though. That is great news here for T1 in this early stage. And you were talking about getting priority. This may certainly help towards getting that.
It's also kind of necessary because when it comes to the CS, actually has been struggling a little bit here. Viper and Life doing a good job of playing very aggressive, very harass-heavy. Like, notice how every time also perfectly done there by Viper, getting rid of his final red ammo.
Oh, that was satisfying, wasn't it?
It was so good.
Oh, man. Beautiful.
And then using the red gun in combination with the Lulu shield to, like, basically hard force a trade. Guma doesn't have enough power to really counteract, and keeping the pressure on are Viper and Life here.
I just kind of want to keep the camera down on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
I feel like this is where the most intricate gameplay is happening.
I did like the dopamine hit on top, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's big.
When the wave just crashes into a Scion and he charges Q, we can scan up there.
Nice.
Otherwise, we just watch this.
Yeah.
And then I think that's the ideal game of League of Legends today. Oh, Dancing Grenade, max value. Like that one a lot. Right, they're not going to be too worried about it. Some decent guns for adding a bit of extra harass. As Zeus just having the time of his life, man.
Yeah, he's having the best of times. Klid and Zeka now, both level, or ultimates available, Zeka level 8, Klid level 6. So if you're Hanwha, I think ideally you'd be trying to look towards a play, maybe on Faker in mid, doesn't have his flash available, maybe even on Oner if you can find a hard engage around an early objective, because neither team has been contesting those just yet. Would expect the first action to go down towards either that Dragon or possibly the Herald.
The Herald has been alive for over a minute. No one's been there just yet. It's Gumayusi being left alone. Just did a little bit of a return to home, though, for Keria. Not going to be roaming around just yet. And it has been quite subdued. And we start to get used to action in our T1 games here in the LCK, because they have been a little bit more aggressive than other teams in recent years. It's not this game.
Yeah, and I do also think that in general, T1 has been an aggressive team, but last split most notably was just because of the gap between Keria and really the rest of the league when it came to playing the AD carry supports. So
yeah, that's true.
The amount of laning pressure that they had was literally unmatched by anyone, and really stifled a lot of drafts. You basically had to ban Ashe, and then started to have to also ban Caitlyn, and like it was this whole kind of train that didn't go the way that you wanted. But last year in spring, it was mostly team fighting that T1 showcased a lot of promise in. Might see that here as well. Zeus is going to go for his ultimate here.
Yeah, Life actually in position, does have Wild Growth available as Keria, clearing out vision around the Rift Herald. And it looks like we're going to have an agreement. Remember, the train moves faster than a Jax. So we could have Kingen turn up a little bit sooner. Does have teleport coming right off cooldown. Will be a couple of seconds before Zeus is up and available. As Viper's just gone back home. He wants none of this. Too many shenanigans. You don't want that.
And as a result, T1's also like, oh, okay. I guess we're letting it go.
I guess no one wants it. Like, maybe it's not cool now. Like, you know how when, you know, you're fighting over something and then you find out that, or you want something and you find out, like, your little brother wants it as well and you're like, oh, it's less cool now or something like that. Maybe it's a similar situation.
Or it's the opposite. Like, you don't want it, but then they want it and you're like, no, I want it as well.
Yeah, but then
we might
nobody
see it
else
happen later.
It. Yeah, yeah.
But right now, no one wants
Oh, yeah. So it's like, you want it.
Then I want it.
He wants it, and then you want it, and then he's like, well, now I don't want it because you want it.
Yeah.
And then because he doesn't want it, you want it.
Okay, so now, does T1 want Herald? Because they know this is going on. It looks like the answer is no. They instead are going to trade.
All right, Charm is going to connect here, but Zeka still coming out on the lower end of that trade. As I said, Electrocute kind of helps out. It's Gumayusi here towards his bottom side trying to grab some plates, and it looks like it is just going to be a trade.
Just a trade.
Yeah. Still one that T1 are probably okay with, especially with that cannon minion going into the nether. Still, Viper will deny this second plate. That is certainly good for Hanwha Life Esports.
And between the Herald still being available, actually, never mind, not being available, going to be thrown down mid here. I think only Klid getting the gold, though. That is a...
Yeah, Zeka was kind of nowhere near that. So.
Yeah. Not my favorite use of Herald, but Klid probably going to be able to use that money to finish his Sunderer. Zeus also, and we're starting to see the first item purchase come through. Sunderer done, as mentioned, for Zeus. And that's really big. Storm Razor now going to be done here. And Viper definitely going to want back as well. Does have his call, so should have no problem at all finishing that. But there's no objective on the map, so it might be a little bit of time before we actually see some fighting over the... or on Summoner's Rift, rather, because right now, both teams are very clearly happy taking it very easy.
Yeah, very slowly. Maybe 4 minutes, but maybe not, because maybe no one cares about Chemtech
It is
Drake.
just a Chemtech Drake.
Just a random Chemtech Drake. Okay, I've got a quiz question for you. Is Charm is going to connect here onto Faker? Nicely done. Faker going to utilize the fact that he was closer to Zeka in order to walk up menacingly, but isn't going to find the Shock Blast. And in the end, not a whole lot is going to happen. But this is my question for you, Chronicler. Which is a better damage item? Divine Sundra or Sunfire Cape?
Normally Sunfire Cape, but specifically into tanks, I'm leaning Sunderer. I know Orcs might not agree with me on this. But, you know, sometimes that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's why I asked you the question.
Yeah, I think specifically the amount of sustain you get from Sunderer in like these longer, drawn-out laning situations, added to the fact that Sign obviously is going to stack an absolutely ludicrous amount of health. Going to get a lot of value from that.
Yep. As Zeka is just going to get hammered back. Okay, in goes Cleared. Faker is dead. Zeka picks up that kill and he's out of there. No Nature's Grasp going to connect either. And that is the Bramble Smash back, but nothing that Oner can do. The mid laner already down.
Beautifully done there by Hanwha Life. Quick combo, Clit showcasing again what he can do on this Vi. Was able to get the win against KT with it as well. Not hesitating for a second there. And Hanwha Life able to pull ahead in the gold. T1 will get an invade off, but not going to feel too great about that trade in the grand scheme of things. And T1, a lot of the trademark aggression, early game dominance that we've come to expect from this team
is... my Vigil.
Yeah, nowhere to be seen here in this game number one.
Whew. Well, Viper is certainly feeling a bit antsy here towards this bottom side. Let's see what he can get done towards this turret, as Gumayusi not going to find the Deadly Flourish, as Viper doesn't hit the Q either. And they are just going to both back away as the minions are going to dissipate. Hanwha, I can feel a bit of hunger. I can feel a bit of something. Something in the water, something a brewing. And I can feel it on T1 side as well, as Faker's roaming down. They are on a ward though, so Hanwha Life with full information. Really nice Shock Blast there as Viper goes down below 50%.
Oh, Kled, I love this. Setting up a trap here.
Oh, very cute positioning. Vault Breaker does come out as Faker should be able to get out of this. Does have to use the flash in order to get away, as the charm is going to miss. Twisted Advance from Oner going to save him from that one. Just narrowly avoiding a whole bunch of these issues on both sides of the rift.
That is the power of Vi Ahri right there. And you see for a second there, like, oh, can we go in here? But Viper and Life were roaming up through river, whereas Guma and Keria were just on a back. So no opportunity there. The fact that Faker actually susses this out, right? I think he walked past a control ward that was in the little brush on the entrance, kind of tipped him off. Walked back because of that Q hit. He is 100% dead, but still a big win for Hanwha Life. The Fleshless Faker are going to be a very easy target for Klid and Zeka to pick off.
See whether they can actually get around and take him down, as 40 seconds on the Drake, the first neutral objective that's going to be coming up. Minute and a half on the Herald. Baron going to be following, of course. See what the Soul is going to be, of course, with no Chemtech available. The likelihood of a Fun Dragon is quite high. Ocean, probably the worst option. Cloud, obviously the best. And then you could have Hextech or Infernal, which are also kind of cool. As Viper's going to move back down again. Okay, does have to get out of the way of Keria. Still, doesn't have to burn anything for it. It was pretty cute. Live. Had his finger on the trigger.
And look at the control here. Zeka is going to be backing here. Does mean that he might be late if T1 pull the trigger right now, but they need to set up control here in the river first. Oner also on a back. And now we see Hanwha Life moving over. T1 have a lot of tools to start up fights with the Maokai ultimate, with Keria as well, but their composition a lot harder to play out correctly, and you need to respect The hard engage from that Vi combined with the Ahri.
Oh,
I don't know if T1 can.
Hannah Minion did get missed, so that is definitely a positive in the T1 camp. However, Drakes are going to be evened out. That is going to be Ocean Soul. A little bit of a miss there on that one, but still going to be valuable. As Zeus looking to grab this turret on the top side. Turret already be taken on bottom side for Life Esports, so first turret blood does belong to them. Large reason why they have a bit of a gold advantage right now. As Rift Herald, second one of the game, surely going to be taken down here. And T1 going to get their own version of that. So one Drake, one Herald apiece. The amount of evenness could not be higher. Oh, and well, we need the turret to be taken on the top side as Oner. Okay, cease and desist going to come down as Keria wondering when he can do anything about this situation as Wild Growth not really going to get too much outside of the flash from Oner there. So a lot of aggression, and you can see Clid, he wants to do stuff, you know? He wants to go in, he wants to be Vi, where it's all violence and punching and things, but there's a lot of disengaging happening on the other side of the rift, and he's not really getting his way.
No, unfortunately for Clid. Does keep finding targets to ult, but they keep getting away from him. There it goes in, but Viper, his movement on Aphelios has just been great life. Trusty
Really,
companion there.
Yeah, I don't know whether that was Storm Razor movement speed, but it really does show that you have a bit of extra movement speed.
Yeah.
Or AD carry, and he's being piloted by someone like Viper. It's just, yeah, it's pretty good.
You know, just Lulu alone can lead to some silly situations. Add the current level of Storm Razor to it, and it's pretty cool. It's good.
And a Zeal.
Just a whole lot of zooming from Viper here, and we'll see whether that is going to be a difference maker, because thus far T1, they got the one play on bot side. That works out nicely, but besides that, it's been Hanwha calling the shots, and I do think that T1 has a decent comp when it comes to counter-engaging, but if they are just going to let Hanwha set the pace of the game, they're also somewhat relying on them to maybe make a mistake.
Yep. Oh, he's also taking fleet footwork. I mean, there's a lot of walking fast. As Clid going to go in, cease and desist, back up and available once again as Shirley
Look at King
come down. Okay, another Vault Breaker is going to come forward. Clid going for an engage onto Oner. Not exactly the optimal target as the train is going to drive completely past. The curtains have been called and Viper is sniped by the first one. Kingen going to stand in front of the rest as he gets Wild Growth. Nice charm. Will connect onto Oner, but now he's going to try and engage. He goes down as Kingen is just being a punching bag, but he's taken it at least for the moment. The final shot will come through for Gumayusi, but they trade it. Zeus is going to go down. Gumayusi's still there. Still strong, deals with the zombie for the moment, and I think they're going to be able to take down this turret. They will be able to do so. I don't know who won. Who won, Chronicle? I think it was T1?
T1, because they get the turret, but that was a very tense back and forth. Comes down to a couple of individual heroics. Zeka hitting a really big charm onto Oner there. Towards the middle of the fight, Zeus flashing forward and getting Counter-Strike. So starts up with them engaging on Oner. You know that Hanwha looking for this because look at the positioning of their science. So go in, Q hits, but Oner obviously very tanky. And the ultimate, only it's Guma from Viper. And then the re-engage from T1 here looks great, but their problem is the only one they're hitting is a Wild Growth Scion. And as mentioned, Zeka going for the re-engage, and then here things look a little bit dicey. Great flash from Clid there, because if he gets knocked up as well, he's in trouble. But then,
the Zeus flash.
Yeah, that Zeus flash combined with Faker's Shock Blast is what actually gets T1 in a good position, because if Zeus flashes and like Faker doesn't hit that Shock Blast, like Viper's fine. They probably don't get the turret, although Viper was still fairly low. And then might be Hanwha that walk away with the win there.
Yeah, Faker actually hit Viper with 2 Shock Blasts, and he was dead in that fight. 2 rotations of the ability. Nicely done. The Counter-Strike flash, really nice from Zeus though to set it up. So, Life Esports, they do go 2 for 2 in the fight, so it's not necessarily like too much has really changed. 600 gold. Look, it is a margin, and it is T1 in an advantageous position.
Yeah.
But with everything else that has happened, it is still anyone's game right now. Still very even as Kingen just walking up towards Zeus. He's got a Bramble Vest, so probably feeling all right about the whole situation. Just charge up the Sunfire Cape and get to work, I guess.
Yeah, I think once we get Cleaver, Zeus is going to feel a little bit better about the longer trades, and then past that point, every item you finish is going to tilt it further and further in Jax's favor. But right now, the best damage item in the game, Sunfire, combined with an almost finished 4-0 is going to do more than enough. Just Bramble and the amount of health that Sion gets, plus his shield's going to make it hard to trade. Kingen is about 25% of health down, but as mentioned, the actual ways of T1 to get through this Sion's health bar are not amazing. Keria on a flank angle here. Let's get spotted.
Yep, Control Ward does go over the wall. Keria is going to vacate. Battle Dances over towards Oner. Deadly Flourish connects onto the Sion. And that ward does spot Zeker out. Breaks his Banshee's Veil already. The Charm is going to miss Keria, but lands onto the Dragon. As Zeus looking for that flank angle. Clid also doing the same thing. Clid, this is what so many pro players say is the scariest thing about him. The fact that he could actually be anywhere. He is always flanking. As that Shock Blast just barely goes wide. Vault Breaker going to connect onto Zeus. Ults him as well as the Counter-Strike does come down. There's the Nature's Grasp. Good charm to try and save Clid, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. He needs the Wild Growth as well as the Vault Breaker. He looks for it, but he cannot actually get it back in time. And Clid is just going to go down. Humble Life Esports have to give this up.
Unironical Jin value there as Zeus hits the Counter-Strike. Guma gets the Flourish, locks down Clid, and then even if he would have been able to get away, I think that one is a bust for Hanwha. Life has to use his resources just to try and keep his jungler alive. And of all the targets to go for, Zeus is definitely a rough one. The rest of the team not really ready to follow up. And when the Jax with Counter-Strike, who is up 2 levels, by the way, is not going to feel too friendly, right? That's the key thing here. Like, the rest of Hanwha isn't ready to immediately collapse. And Keria and Oner are zoning. So...
and I think Zeker's ultimate just came off cooldown as well. And so couldn't actually use it to get in position to follow up. It might have been a spectator bug, but that's what it looked like on the screen right here.
Yeah, and it's understandable, right? You want to try. It doesn't really matter who is Faker.
Yeah, this is what they wanted to happen, as Faker is going to get closed in on Clid is going to be able to grab him, and Moonlight Vigil has come down. Clid's still alive for the moment, gets a shield as well from the Lulu, and now he just gets punched back. That was cute, but another charm is going to connect. Zeker actually having a fantastic game right now, and Viper will collect the kill on the jungler in the Baron pit. And I think we have an idea as to what this means. Faker and Oner dead. You can see T1 still wanting to find something. A teleport back going to come in as Zeus. Oh, the lockdown! It's beautiful as Zeker needs to try and keep himself alive. He's going to be able to do so for the moment. Clid with some heroics, but they may have delayed the Baron. They may have done it, but no, Keria will fall down. And Hanwha just back to the job at hand.
Do note, though, Oner and Faker, 10 seconds, and I think they have to vacate. Yeah, don't want to run the risk of getting taken down, and it takes a lot. All starts
Too many risks have been taken this game, Chronicler. That's very true.
Starts off with Zeka setting up a really nice player. They have full control of the vision, and Faker does an okay amount of damage, but ends up going down. And then here, we do see Guma isn't in the fight from the get-go. Oner then gets targeted, at least keeps Zeus alive with a nice Bramble Smash there, but this is a great opportunity. Hanwha Life's like, we're going to go for this. And then it's Zeus on the Jax. If this teleports or this back goes through, like Zeka TP's in, and you're 100% never getting it done, so that can so absolutely pivotal. Keria also recognizing, flashing forward, drawing Hanwha Life away, taking away DPS from the Baron, and T1, they get away with it. But that was all Hanwha up until that point.
And the game is actually just
still dead even. Yeah,
completely even.
What a great first game.
This is kind of nutty. It's not really what I was expecting, right? Like, it was all going according to plan until we got to the R5 pick of the Jhin, and it kind of like, it put everything through a little bit of a loop. And as you can see, a bit of a heart monitor here as far as the gold graph is concerned.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Balance in all things.
Also how I imagine both team or both fans of either team are feeling at the moment with how this game is going.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, who do you think is actually going to win this game?
So,
if I had to ask you right now.
At this point, let's hold up.
All right. R button going to be pressed here. As it connects onto the Scion, they're going to look for him here. As into the backline goes Keria, he manages to find the Aphelios, but he gets a wild growth. It's a lot of damage, and Kingen was tanking for about 15 years. Zeus, he dives on top and he finds the Aphelios. Viper is dead already. Zeus goes golden to keep himself alive. All right, I take it all back. It's not Keria POG, it's Zeus POG. He's going to get it this time.
What a re-engage there from the Jax. KDA doesn't tell the full story. This combination of the Jax and the Rakan working out perfectly. On Alive though, they don't want to give up this Baron. They want to try and contest. Still have 4 people available, and Klid has Smite as well.
It's not the fastest Baron in the world, but it is going down quickly enough. Kingen, not a massive health bar as Keria tries to go forward. Volbri gets nails it! Klid! What is this? All right, well, thanks for the leash, I guess. They lose the Aphelios, they get a Baron, they lose Klid. So maybe it's going to be a Drake now, but 43 seconds, I'm not entirely sure. This game's silly. It went from just so much not a lot to like just complete insanity so quickly, Chronicler.
So we start by focusing on the only one that actually got hit, and then this is where it looks dicey for T1, right? The re-engage comes through, the flanks are there, Zeka and Klid are looking to close in, and then this moment here from Zeus ends up, I think, saving the game. I think if they actually get hard engaged on, they might lose. That's the Baron gone, then the base starts falling, all the turrets go down, but instead, they're able to go for the Baron. But then, Klid sidesteps the knock-up from Keria, and then just, cool as a cucumber, pews into the Baron pit. And now, you know what the end result is?
Well,
dead
I mean, the game is dead even, yeah. There's like all sorts of things happening, but not a lot of them are actually really changing how this one's working. Everfrost is going to connect there as it is stall point for T1. Ensuing fight is going to come in though as over the wall goes Zeka. Not sure about that one, but he didn't have too many options. Still the Aphelios grabs the kill. The curtains are being called, but they're not doing a whole lot of work. And immediately this time, no stopwatch to break, and Zeus will fall to the cease and desist.
And don't forget, Baron buff is available. Minute and a half here for Hanwha Live. They're going to push in. And before we got interrupted by the mid lane fight, you were asking, like, who do you think is going to take it? I think the game stayed dead even. Now obviously favoring Hanwha. But when it comes to a team fighting composition and you have Viper on Aphelios as your AD carry,
yeah, you're feeling all right.
That changes things a little bit.
I got so distracted by Kingen putting that control ward over, basically saying, oh, did I hit him? That was very cute. It was very cute.
You gotta know.
That one tickles, you know? It's a nice play. They do manage to take the inner turret. This could be the first real advantage that we see in this game as we're going to check out the replay.
So it was attempted hard engagement.
The charm
the charm interrupt. Yeah. Because if Zeka dies, you can win this fight, but instead they're in the pit. The Viper is completely unmatched, and watch the cancel. Like Klid actually going for the Q ultimate there to ensure that Viper can keep autoing. Really big there. And charm as well.
Yeah, it's like I thought I was going to die. Don't worry, Zeka, we did too. I assure you, I was in the same boat, but played it out very, very nicely. And now, Hanwha Life Esports. It is a 2.2 thousand gold lead. And now, that might not sound like a large number. However, in this game, it's massive.
It's as big as it's been.
Yeah, this is the largest gold lead that we've seen by about 100% extra.
Good math.
I think I could have worded that a little bit more effectively, but that's fine. Zeus is going to even it out just a little bit, though, by taking this outer turret on the bottom side of the map.
That's good. I was getting worried that we would lose our equilibrium.
I know. So we're gonna pull it back. It really did stretch, and I imagine a lot of people were starting to feel a bit of motion sickness and things like this. When things separate too much, it does get a little bit confusing. So don't worry. We brought it back as Vault Breaker being charged. Klid this time going to go out. I actually kind of thought, you know, most of the time in that situation when there's 4 people converging on a Vi, I'd think, oh, she's going to use it defensively. And Klid this game has not been doing that.
Problem with what we're seeing for T1 here is that unless they are actually able to get damage down from Faker or Guma, or they straight up like multi-man get on top of Viper somehow, who is flash cooldown is still down, but that's not going to be for much longer. Taking Viper down is extremely hard. There is a Lulu, obviously, with heal and wild growth. He has his cleanse, flash about to come up, and he has stopwatch and B2. So the resources you need to actually kill Viper are a plenty.
Yeah.
You're going to have to invest a lot, and with how Zeka in particular is also quite fed, going for a more damage-oriented build. It's a little bit in the middle between Horizon Focus and building towards what I think now will become a death cap. Are you just happy about Sion?
I think its health bar is too large. It's like over 5,000 health.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Jhin auto attacks.
Think about the value that you get from Cut Down and Giant Slayer.
Hey,
Lord
true.
Dominance.
There you go. And I mean, honestly, crit build isn't actually that.
I mean, the actual person...
But he just doesn't hit very often.
Oh, that's the point, right? Like, the actual person that can kill him is Zeus, but the amount of time you're not going to get.
Yeah.
It's going to take a very, very long time. Is Clit still looking here?
Oh, yeah. I think he's been charging Goldbreaker all game. He just doesn't stop. There's Zeka. Does have ulti, so he's not in any threat of dying. Oner was in the area, just looking to see whether there's any opportunities. Baron going to be up again in under a minute, and a minute exactly, pretty much, for this Ocean Soul for T1, if they were able to get over there. The timings actually line up in a pretty interesting way, as T1 get to choose where they focus. Life Esports, I think the idea is get vision on Baron, then take Drake, then go back to try and contest for Baron, is what I would assume. But we'll see what the actual game plan is going to be. Kingen walks over a control ward, Zeus gets that information, and Kingen's going to catch the wave before actually taking that one down.
There's also something that we mentioned at the top of the game, and we have to get back now that we're actually getting into late game territory, which is itemization for Hanwha is insanely easy.
Oh.
Now Viper's fine. I don't know why you'd be worried at all.
No, I wasn't worried.
Zeus.
All right, there's cease and desist as the train's coming. All right, Zeus going to be able to get out of there. The charm lands, though. It's gorgeous. Another stopwatch picked up here, but I don't think it's going to save him. And down goes the Jax. He's been so heroic, but got caught out. Too many buttons for Hanwha Life Esports to press.
There you see the problem. Like, T1 needs to kind of have someone flank, but Hanwha Life have done such an amazing job. And you know what? When a member down, when in doubt, just start Nash.
Yeah. Drake is going to be taken here, but T1, I think they know that it's not going to be fast enough.
That's a leash.
And Kingen is going to come over with his 6 billion trillion health and just tank Baron for about 15 years. As Faker, ooh, not going to get hit by that one.
Don't let Oner just flash in.
Yeah, well, Curtain Call going to be coming in here. Okay, they do land the charm. They look for Keria. They will be able to find him. Oh, he's not going to go down. It is.
Oner got it!
Oner's going to steal the Baron on the other side of things. That's 1-for-1 on Baron steals. Apparently, if you start the Baron, you are saying, we're not going to get it. We're giving it to you guys, is how that one goes. This game is I was too distracted by Keria taking all of that damage.
There's so much happening.
The tree just lumbers in there and steals the Baron.
That's a clean T1 Baron. So, really nicely done here. The vision control from Hanwha Life leads to them being able to pick up Zeus. The distraction here set up by Keria, as actually evidenced by you, works very well, right?
He just flashed in, so they had a bullet, and Faker had shock blast. It was actually beautifully coordinated.
So what happens there is they, Hanwha Life vacate the pit, thinking that the damage isn't there, right? The Baron is at like 3.5k health, but between the Jhin bullets and the shock blasts, there is enough damage.
It is very there.
Oh my
and
God.
The Maokai dies, so we're not going to see too much more afterwards. But now T1, they have Baron for another just over a minute and a half. Not sure how much they're going to really get done because they did lose a lot of map control. No Drake going to be up as now Viper, possibly in a precarious situation, but does have Lord Doms, Gale Force. He's got his stopwatch. Oh man, this is a very scary Aphelios. I mean, it's similar on the side of Gumayusi. He's got pretty much the same items. And by pretty much, I mean exactly. As in they go, they look for the engage. Let's see how much damage Sion can take. Well, not that. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, that's the whole kitchen sink, and it was almost enough to take him down. Had to flash, had to ult. Yeah, I think that T1 are going to at least take this inhibitor. Moonlight Vigil goes wide. This is...
Oh, Zaka's going to force at the very least a TP. Surely.
He's definitely going to take this.
Baron recalls are fast enough, so it's just going to be the inhib turret.
Okay, so inhibitor taken, and T1 going to have that advantage. And Chronicler, the gold lead is not there.
No.
This is a game. I cannot wait for the space. I cannot wait for the space. Because what we need is like, I imagine they're just going through and they're like, oh, this is the highlight. This is the game decider.
This is the one.
We haven't had one, but we've had like 50. You know, there's like been so many game-defining moments. But they've just been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we're going to need another one before we see the conclusion of this.
Yeah, it feels like a whodunit where the point was we're gonna jam.
Yeah, it's like too many twists. Too many twists.
As many red herrings left and right. Jin's bad. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, maybe he is.
It's Night Shaman League.
Baron Steel 1. Well, what about Baron Steel number 2?
Aha, but have you heard of Baron Steel number 15?
Okay, Clit is flanking.
Well,
he is flanking.
Oh my goodness, Secret Agent Clit. I think he actually,
seen.
He's going to be seen on one of these plethora of, oh no, he's not, because they knew about that one.
Oh my god.
They knew about that one.
Okay, no, they know.
Okay, the control war goes
But they know.
And so now they definitely know, and now there's 4 people. Gumayusi, oh, he's going to get flashed on cease and desist, but there's the stopwatch. Really nice Everfrost is going to connect, but Clit is very much down to his GA. Now Viper, can you actually auto-attack, as this is such an awkward position for a team fight? Clit's going to go down first, and now Kingen needs to block as many of these bullets as he can. I guess 1 or 2 is fine. And T1, they do kill the jungler, and they are going to have to be happy with that, I think, for now.
That should possibly be the soul going over. This is a Ocean Soul. Incredible amount of value here, particularly in the side lane. But this game has really come down to team fighting Skuma.
Oh dear, there's the dash for okay. Gumayusi going to be okay for now.
Not even close, baby.
Yep, got the flash.
That's big.
That's what Hanwha are saying.
It's a big win here for T1, or for Hanwha Live rather, because it means that Zeka and Clit now have a way of getting onto Guma, but
I'm really glad
that
kill didn't come through, because Hanwha Life Esports do have a slight gold lead right now, and we need to try and keep balance as much as we can. Clit is still there, so this Drake is not.
Yeah, that's Soul for sure. So Soul goes over to T1. Baron is about to spawn in a minute, so I assume either team now going to go for the back. Ocean Soul has been picked up, which is going to help out Oner, help out Zeus a ton. But when it comes to the gameplay, I feel the other way around it would be worse, as let's take another look at this. They know that he's there, and that, I think, gives them the time to adequately respond. Not sure about Keria's stopwatch, but Guma's obviously working out very well. Zeus also channeling his immediately, and again, comes down to that ward actually showing, and
yeah, he said cover me, so I think he knew exactly what was happening.
바이. 앞에 화용공. W 걸었는데.
Yep, just saying that there's blue ult on the Aphelios, and Gumayusi actually calling a lot. He gets engaged on, but knew exactly what was going to happen there as King completes a frozen heart. Oh my goodness.
And this is something that, particularly in these long grueling games, is so important. The amount of reaction speed you have as a person, if you know something is coming, is incomparable, right? Like, if you're aware that there is a Vi waiting in the wings,
it
makes it so much easier.
You have to, if you're ready to react
exactly.
much easier. Yeah.
And it makes it so that the play actually does end up working out. If Clit actually doesn't get spotted there, if that ward isn't there, and they just kill Guma and fight from there, might be a win for Hanwha, who are now making their way over. Zeka is going to have to deal with this double wave. Does have TP in case the fight does randomly break out.
45 seconds on the inhibitor. Yeah, the next wave, no super minions. So they've weathered the storm as far as that is concerned. Viper loses his shield.
Oh no.
Shock horror.
Horrible.
We're going to have another team fight. Okay, that's a nice shock blast as Faker's starting to put some items together. Absolutely. I mean, Viper will get the majority of his health level.
What about flip number 3?
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again as the curtain call's going to come forward. It's taken by Aphelios. What? That's the wrong AD carry to steal that one away, as Kingen is now massive, standing in the front line. Hanwha Life Esports, I think they just got away with the Baron.
Yeah, that's it.
This game's silly.
They got it. And now all that T1 can do is back.
I'm so sorry about the outburst.
Oh my god, the inhibitor is going to fall.
Is the minions? The minions are the most...
Gone.
Oh,
it's gone, Atlas.
They've done it.
Wait.
They've done it. The 6th man.
Whoa.
And they're also going to be able to take this inhibitor turret on the top side of the map.
Is that going to be it?
Oh my goodness. Okay, 2 inhibs are down. And they have Baron for another 2.5 minutes. They can go back, buy more items. I mean, there's 6. Zeker is 4-0 and 6 right now. Remember in the last series, like they lost that first game and he didn't even die once and then remained deathless in game 2, had an incredible series. His KDA after this series, if he keeps this up, is going to be absurd. Oh man. This has been like an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
This game.
And I still don't know.
No, neither do I. I mean, it's 2,000 gold. Like, the items are basically full parity. The only issue is there's an Aphelios in, like, 43 minutes in the game, and there's a Jhin on the other side. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, smart money as far as hyper carry, attack damage carry in the late game. It's probably Aphelios. And I say probably as facetiously as possible, because definitely is.
And
Hyper is so huge.
Yeah, biggest thing for me is that Kingen can just tank anything that's thrown at him from T1, and the 2 inhibs are going to mean guaranteed pressure. So on life, once 3 inhibs are down, you're done.
All right, in goes Zeker, doesn't find the charm on the Faker, but still gets the flash out. As Oner will get knocked up. Is he going to get chain CC'd? He is. He gets off the ultimate as now. Oh, the charm, Zeker, you god! And they are going to be able to take down even more. Oh my goodness, taking life into his own hands is Viper. Gale forcing forward. And after the game was neck and neck the entire time. Baron steal for Baron steal. Even objectives across the board. No goal.